Howdy, it's Pete Thorn. Welcome to the floor of my studio and my demo of the Fractal FX8 multi-effects unit. So this is going to be real similar to another demo I made for Fractal a few years ago of their terrific Axe Effects unit, where I came up with 5 distinct tones and played my song Homage using only the Axe Effects for all the guitar sounds. I played the song down, stepped through each of the 5 tones through the course of playing the tune, and then after the song I broke down each of the sounds and explained how I came up with each of them and that sort of thing. So I want to do a real similar demo for the FX8. You know, this isn't meant to be like a full rundown of all the features of this unit or anything like that. For that, you can go to the Fractal website and check that out. I just wanted to get real creative with it, do something really musical, and sort of write a song based around it. So I came up with a bunch of distinct presets, and yeah, all the guitar sounds you hear in the song that's about to play are based around the FX8. So I've got it hooked up to my Sir PT100 amp, actually 2 of them in stereo, and I'm running at 4 cable methods, so there's effects in front of the amp and also in the effects loops of the 2 amps in stereo. And I also use it on some acoustic guitar parts. So I just went DI for that, like plugged out of my acoustic into the FX8, came out of it into my recording interface. And so on acoustic I use it for some compression and reverb and a little bit of delay on one part. And on the electric guitars you're going to hear compression, different drive sounds, delays, reverb, rotary, all that good stuff. So let's check out the tune, and then when we come back after the song plays, I'll break down some of these tones and explain what I was going for and that sort of thing. All right, here we go. Okay, this is preset number 1 that I came up with. So I wanted to just come up with obviously a really beautiful clean sound that was nice for chords and arpeggios, some compression, some delay, some reverb. So I'm going to shut off all the effects for a sec here using the fantastic FX8 editor, which is super easy to use and makes programming a breeze on this thing. Here's the way that just the core guitar sound without any effects sounds. So that's just the clean channel on my PT100. Turning on the compressor. Turning on the delay. Really cool kind of filtered analog delay thing I've got going. So in a lot of my delay sounds, I like to kind of filter off the top end, also filter out the low end. And what's really nice is in the FX8, you get a nice EQ section in the delay, actually, where you can kind of boost mids and stuff as well. And then when you start boosting mid-range, like maybe 800 to 1K, something like that, almost upper mids, you can get delays to kind of resonate and do a kind of just a dirty kind of thing that I find cool even on clean sounds. Kind of hear the mids poke out in the delay. I really dig that. Okay, and then the reverb. I'm just going to shut off the delay for a second and show you the reverb by itself. Really dense, really beautiful plate reverb. It's called the London plate, and really, really nice sound that I found in the FX8. I should mention I've only been sort of using this unit for a very brief period of time, so all these sounds I really came up with very quickly on the fly, and it didn't really do that much tweaking, and I still think that they sound really cool. Now switching the delay back in. So I almost forgot to mention for this first guitar part and for preset number 1, I've got a stereo panning effect that when the preset pulls up isn't active, but it's real easy to turn on using the instant access switches on the FX8, and that's what I did when I cut the part. Basically, when I got into the chorus of the tune, I wanted the panning to come in, and I just wanted something special to happen for it to get kind of spacey. So the guitar sound without the panner sounds like this. And turning on the panner. Okay, so as I mentioned, I use the FX8 on the acoustic tracks as well. So this is my nice new little Takamine guitar I picked up over in Japan. It's got a pretty good sounding pickup in it. It sounds like this plugged in direct with no effects. Okay, not too bad, but I like the tone I was able to get using the compressor and the EQ on the FX8, so I'm just turning those on here with the instant access switches. Sounds like this. Okay, kind of just dumped a little bit of lows and low mids on the acoustic and brought the high end a bit, made it poke out of the mix a bit more. And I'm also using a hall reverb. Sounds like this. Okay, and for the little acoustic melody parts, I used I guess it's a half note delay, and just added some nice dimension to the parts. So for this tone, obviously I got a bunch of effects going on. I wanted to kind of go for a little bit of that sort of Black Hole Sunish sort of melody rotary part thing. I wanted it to be basically like a mono rotary sound and kind of centered in the mix to kind of put the focus right in the middle, not make it too diffuse. But I am using some stereo delay and reverb. So I'm going to turn off all the effects, and then I'm just going to add them one at a time here so you can hear what's going on. So here's bone stock dry sound. Okay, turning on the compressor. I use the compressor just to add a ton of sustain and even out the notes. It's really grabbing the notes and making them sustain. I've got a drive pedal on this sound as well, and it's really not acting like a drive. It's the Zen Master pedal. I've got the gain set real low. If anything, it's just sort of darkening the sound and making it sort of MIDI. Kind of making it almost more mellow. Switching in the rotary, which as I say, I'm running in front of the amp, and that's really easy to do, I should mention, on the FX8. You can configure effects in front of the amp or in the effects loop of your amp if you're using an amp with a loop. Real simple, by just dragging and dropping it. It's so cool. So this is the rotary sound running in front of the amp, so it's in mono. Okay, very cool. And then I've got stereo, delay, and reverb happening. Sounds like this. So for the first sort of melody solo part that comes in, I wanted kind of a warm singing lead tone, not too dirty or anything like that. A little bit fuzzy, a little bit overdriven, warmth but with clarity. That's kind of what I wanted. So here's the clean sound. Still on the PT100 clean channel for this. All the drive was coming out of the FX8 for this sound. There's the clean. Adding in the compressor just kind of evens things out, squashes it down a bit. Quite a bit actually. Adding in the drive. So I used the tube driver 3-knob version. It sounds like this. And I'm actually using the neck pickup. So these are Thornbuckers in this guitar. So they've got nice top end, nice clarity and stuff like that for neck pickups. I'm actually dumping a little bit of bass out of the overdrive sound, just boosting the mids a hair like a dB. And it just has a really nice warm tone to it. Adding in the delay kind of completes the picture. Sounds like this. For this I use a mono tape delay. Kind of a warm, natural, tubey sort of overdrive. Now, right at the end of this part, this part kind of goes into the where the drums get big and stuff, and the song gets a lot louder. I wanted the last note of this little lead part to kind of tail over, so I used the deep space reverb, and I just add it using the instant access switch to the FX8 right when it's on the very last note of this part. So it sounds like this. So once again, really easy to do, just using the instant access switches on the FX8. For the second solo section in the song, there's a hard-panned pair of rhythm guitars. It's my Gilliaran guitar that I played on that. I'm using channel 2 on my PT100 amp with the gain on about 4, so getting a nice kind of crunch sound going, sort of JCM 800 sort of tone. And I'm using a plate reverb in the FX8 to add a bit of reverb to each of those guitars. Now for the solo, which is panned right up the middle, I'm playing my Sir Classic S on that, and I added the BB preamp in the FX8 to give me a nice sort of MIDI gain boost. Get lots of sustain and stuff. It sounds just great to me, really cool. And I use a stereo analog delay and also the plate reverb on that. So for the very last part of the song, I go back to the real mellow vibe, total schizophrenic piece of music. I'm not sure where it came from, but yeah, so I'm back on preset number 1, clean with delay and reverb and compression. And then for the very last chord, I kick on a stereo rotary effect using one of the instant access switches on the FX8. It sounds like this. Thanks for watching my demo of the Fractal FX8 multi-effects processor. Just a killer sounding unit. What a great tool. I really like this thing. And I applaud Fractal for getting into this end of the modeling market. You know, really it's designed, I think, for the type of player that doesn't want to get into amp modeling and speaker cabinet modeling and that kind of thing. They want to stick with the traditional guitar amplifier, but they aren't opposed to using modeling to simplify their life when it comes to their pedal board and effects. And this thing, 10, 15 years ago would have required, a refrigerator rack or something to do all the stuff that this thing does. And now here you've got it right at your feet, and it'll channel switch your amp and just take care of all your effects needs and switching needs. So really, really, really cool, powerful unit. I know I'm going to find lots of uses for it. All right, check it out further at the website you see there on your screen, and please hit subscribe if you haven't. Come back and see me for more videos. I am Pete Thorn. Take it easy.